So originally the plan was that this morning we were going to put up a video about balancing your commitment to your content with your commitment to your audience. And that's one of those very simple, fundamental bedrock ideas that can be a surprisingly powerful diagnostic when you've got a speech that's somehow not quite clicking. And that video will go up eventually. It kind of goes to the back of the queue. But what I want to talk about this morning is just a little bit of a program note, because in about 2 weeks from today, and then a few weeks later, 2 weeks for STOA, and then a few weeks later for NCFCA, what we're going to do is we're going to host a couple of web meetings for the purpose of doing some very early brainstorming about the new topics you've got for next season. And you are cordially invited to participate in these. There'll be no charge. I am going to ask you for a little bit of information, but we'll get to that. What I plan to do is on June 9th, 2 weeks from today at 1 p.m. to host a 1-hour web meeting via WebEx about the new team policy topic. And in that meeting, I'll have a little bit to say at the beginning to kind of break the ice about what I think the big issues are, and then some suggestions of affirmatives that have potential and negative arguments that I think you want to get on top of early, because you'll get a lot of mileage out of them. Then the next day, June 10th at 1 p.m., same thing for the Lincoln Douglas topic, about a 1-hour long web meeting via WebEx. And then at the end of June, about 2 weeks after NCFCA Nationals, on June 30th, which is a Monday at 1 p.m., the NCFCA team policy topic. And then on July 1st, which is a Tuesday at 1 p.m., the NCFCA Lincoln Douglas topic. Now, the one thing that I am going to request, if you're interested in taking part in this, the first thing that you would need to do is, so that I can send you an invite to the meeting, you would need to send an email to debate@nwcu.edu, and you can put anything you like in the subject line or in the body, so long as it conveys to us that you would like to take part in this brainstorm session. But the one thing that I would like is if you would provide me a first and last name, with the understanding that I'm going to provide that first and last name and email address to our admissions department. And what the admissions department's going to do is they're going to send you information about NCU just one time. And for some of you, this may be of interest. Northwest Christian University provides scholarships for people who have had a reasonable measure of success in forensics. So you might want to look that over. But the one thing that I can guarantee you is you're not getting on a mailing list that you'll spend the rest of your life on. You're not going to get phone calls, in the middle of dinner, anything like that. We can't call you if all we have is your email address. But we do want that one contact. So then what I hope you'll do is, via WebEx, you can use your webcam, you can use the microphone on your computer, or you can call. There's a phone number that you'll be able to use if you don't want to connect via the computer. But I'm hoping that after I have my initial overview and then my couple of suggestions, that we'll get into a brainstorm session, and that we'll have a real lively question and answer session. And the whole thing will be recorded. And eventually, I do plan to put it up on the YouTube channel, but initially I plan to put it up as unlisted and just make the link available to people who took part in it. Probably the video would not be available to everybody else until fairly late, not long before the season begins. But I do want, because we think of our participation with the homeschooling community as a ministry that we think does the most good to people who really don't have that much coaching available, I do eventually want to open it up to everyone. The one other thing that we're working on that I wanted to say a little bit about in this program note is, we're already working on some mock-ups of possible affirmatives that are only good enough, really maybe to have practice debates, and we plan to put them in our Google Drive. And what we had planned to do was to make those available at first to people who take part in the WebEx and the brainstorm session. So we do not plan to make these good enough to be tournament ready, because what we don't want to do, we don't want to become a source book. We don't want to become a disincentive for you to do your original research. But we do feel good about giving you some idea starters. We do feel good about showing you the rough cut, the rough construction of an argument that's good enough for practice debates, and then maybe to give you a list of citations and a couple of coaching notes about how some of these arguments could be strategic. So if that sounds good to you, that might be another incentive for you to take part in this. So remember, if this is something that you would like a part of, then what you need to do is send an email to debate@nwcu.edu, and then just include your name, first and last name, and then say that you would like to take part in this brainstorm session in the WebEx meeting, you would like to have access to the Google Drive. And if you use your Gmail address, it obviously makes it a little bit easier for us to grant you access to the Google Drive and the materials that we're going to put there. And then that's it. And I'll add, if you change your mind before the WebEx happens, then you can just email us again and say, please take my name off and don't give my name to admissions, and we'll honor that. Because, we do not believe in hard sell. We do not believe in arm twisting. We believe in trying to find students for whom NCU will be a good fit. And if that's not you, then we definitely do not want to be intrusive or to in any way be trying to pressure you or coerce you. And as far as the brainstorm sessions for the new topics, we want to do these in a way that will be helpful. So think it over. If that sounds appealing, take advantage of it.